It's a bird. It's a plane. It's a UFO. UAP. No, it's probably just another U.S. government PSYOP.
I would have died 1,000 times. And if chewing was to show me how much you care, you'd probably swallow your tongue by now. Oh.
What in the world's going on here? Well, I think we're just a little step closer towards answering that. All of this, as of course, Tucker Carlson just hosted a very fascinating conversation with a member of Congress going into some of the very strange anomalies that we keep hearing about, as there are two major stories happening right now that I think should be key issues of concern. One is 31 Atlas that is making its way past Earth, very close to Mars. The Mars correlation here is very interesting. We'll tell you why in a little bit, as Joe Rogan had some very interesting comments to talk about that, as Congressman Burchett on the Tucker Carlson show talked about how they could imprison me for the information that I have that is still not public, as he released some really crazy bombshell news that we're going to be talking about in this particular video, as he described how one man could change it all. And that one man has been shown to have some big kind of cojones here that could potentially be saying, you know what? We're just going to be releasing all of it. Will that actually happen? I hope so. Excuse me. I got allergies here. And that's what we're going to be talking about in this particular sneezed-filled video. And if you appreciate these types of videos, subscribe, click the notification button. We greatly appreciate all the time that you spend with us. Now, these stories are wild, and the interview with Tim Burchett is also even more wilder. Now, we've been talking about what he's been talking about for quite a long time. As he talked about, listen, we face severe punishment. We face imprisonment for even having these type of discussions, as he kind of hinted, hey, there's some other stuff that I know that if I tell people about, I'm going to end up in jail.
If a member of Congress received, quote, classified information about UAPs and then immediately held a press conference and said, here's what I just heard and saw. And yes, I'm breaking the law, but like, tough shit, why don't you do something about it?
Yeah.
What would happen?
I don't know. They say they can imprison us, but that's what we're told at the beginning. We're not even supposed to discuss. Some people.
Who's who's hosting the briefings? The Pentagon, the intel agencies, the CIA, and also private contractors like Lockheed Martin. Interesting. And another thing that Tim said in this interview was how we have to be careful because he's worried about people giving them false, fake information, and how one government branch goes to him, let's just say an example, the Pentagon, and says, yes, this is really what's going on here. This is a very serious situation. This is what was reported. And then a second government agency, let's just say the CIA, comes to him and says, no, that's actually fake news. None of that actually happened, and it's not real. And he's kind of left here in this kind of perplexing situation. Be like, I'm trying to make sense of it, and I'm being told contradictory evidence from multiple government agencies on the similar types of events and situations and experiences. And I need to be careful because there could be people giving me fake information in order to muddy the waters and to destroy my reputation, right? That's what we got to be careful of. As now we're kind of wondering, is this just all one type of big psychological warfare operation with advanced U.S. military tech? As that's one option. The second option is a little bit more, woohoo. I think that's a perfect way of describing it. And that is that there are interdimensional beings and creatures out there that the U.S. government has made partnerships and deals with. Yes. And that's what Tucker Carlson believes. And I actually held the conversation with Tucker Carlson at TPUSA. Charlie Kirk was there about that actual particular topic and interdimensional beings and creatures that are amongst us, that are in other planes of existences that our senses aren't privy to. It would explain some of the weird kind of wacky stuff that modern science still can't explain, though. So, listen, I'm like stuck, and I'm like, kind of like, okay, government PSYOP, advanced tech meant to create kind of confusion and fear just to psychologically kind of mess with us. Because that's what the intel agencies have been doing for an extremely long time. And then the other part of me is like, this interdimensional being creature stuff. More and more I look into it, more and more it makes sense.
People will tell you can't even tell them that you've been in a skiff, but the press is waiting for you as soon as you walk out.
Who says that? Leadership of the party.
Oh yeah, leadership. Yeah, I've been in a skiff before where they'll say anything discussed in here, we remind you, is punishable by law, and it's a felony. But the problem you get in there a lot of times is the arrogance and the lies that are told to us. They contradict. I mean, they'll contradict what another department has said. They'll say this didn't happen, this doesn't exist, and then another one will say, this is one we don't know about, we can't figure out. There's just no answer. It defies all of our reason. And
so these are the briefers from various federal agencies that you're talking.
And they're generally arrogant. There's one kid with a man bun. I always remember him. He was very arrogant. And then I asked him about some specific instances.
If
word of advice: don't trust dudes with man buns. I think that's a rule to live by here. But this shows the kind of insidious nature because you have the hoarding of information instead of the sharing of information. And if we're dealing with interdimensional creatures or even extraterrestrial creatures from different worlds and different kind of existences, we should know. Now, again, the drone stories that we keep hearing about, stranger and stranger by the day, knocking out surveillance systems, making sure that they can't be captured in the human eye, transforming and then disappearing. U.S. type of anti-drone missile system and capabilities, as well as Tomahawk missiles that are shot at it, just don't work. As they're going after and staying over nuclear reactors for an extremely long time, a lot longer than consumer drones can stay up in the air floor. And then they can't be captured on surveillance systems. What in the world's going on here? We're going to talk about that because Joe Rogan also had some very interesting comments to talk about, especially when it comes to this alleged comet, which some scientists believe is an actual spaceship. Before talking about that and a lot more, we wanted to tell you, sign up to lookunfiltered.com. We'll do this quick and easy. 20 cents a day, $8 a month, not even a freaking latte anymore. I'm out on the road. I'm like, that's how much a latte is? Gosh. And again, we're going to raise prices, lock it in. You get 3 master classes. You get to talk to me directly in the Telegram chat. I'm in the Telegram chat right now, and we're going to be doing a live event where members get to call in, get the video call in, get to hang out. And I'm looking forward to doing that soon. As soon as I get back home, I'm going to get organized. I'm going to get my studio back up. My studio failed. I don't know what in the world happened. We're fixing the studio. It's taken like a month plus, 2 months to fix the studio. Sorry, guys. I've just been going through a lot, working our butts off. We appreciate the efforts that I've been putting in for over 20 years. 20 years. 20 cents a day. It means a lot to me. And it keeps us going, and it has us expanding, growing, and doing some really cool stuff. I met a guy that's a shooter editor. And he's like, I'll be your security and shooter editor. And I'm like, I like that. And I'm thinking about doing some on-the-road projects again. So if you want to see me do some on-the-road projects again, subscribe to lookunfiltered.com. We definitely need your support to expand, grow, and do some really cool stuff on the ground. So lookunfiltered.com. Can't thank you guys enough for your generous support. Now, this interview. Now, this is the latest, by the way. So what's been happening is multiple drone incursions all over Europe, right? Some of them by Russia, admittedly, not admittedly. Some of them are saying, "Oh no, it's a PSYOP." Some of them are accused of being false. But there's other drones that France was like, "It's the Russians. They're using their freight carriers and they're doing it." And then they raided a Russian freight carrier, and then like, "Oh, nothing's here, huh? That's interesting. Nothing's here." As Zelensky was like, "It's the Russians." Macron, "It's the Russians." It wasn't the Russians. Something else is defying the laws of physics. Something else is transforming. Something else is monitoring and watching European sites. A lot of sites that people believe are connected to the moving of nuclear warheads and nuclear bombs. Now, this is particularly important because there's multiple stories and multiple military personnel coming forward and saying, yeah, whenever there's like nukes or whenever we're very close to blowing each other up, aliens intervene and get involved and prevent that from happening. Now, these drones defy so many kind of common comprehensions of tech that we have. And now they're knocking out surveillance systems so they can't get videos of them. Interesting. Now, Tim Burchett talked about this kind of UAP phenomenon. It happened in Japan. It happened in America. It's happening in Europe. Right? All those countries at odds with Russia. Now, does that mean Russia is responsible here? Who the hell knows? I do not know. But this UAP phenomenon, far more sophisticated, far more advanced. Now, the Russians announced, hey, we're going to be working on we're going to be debuting new nuclear weapons. Yay! New discussions to blow up the world many times over. I don't like that. Is the tech that advanced that it could knock out Tomahawk missiles, defy our surveillance systems, defy our anti-drone systems and air defense systems? That's a question of something that, of course, we delve into the realm of hypothetical, because now we're kind of asking ourselves, what are we dealing with here? Is the threat from the outside or the inside? Is it interdimensional? Is it extraterrestrial? Or is it advanced U.S. military tech that, of course, has been propelled? Because we know American tech is usually military tech 30 years more advanced than what the common folk have out there with the general public. Now, has AI become so advanced that it has already surpassed us, and it is acting in kind of its own unique ways where it creates these devices and it's kind of poking and prodding and trying to understand what's really going on here? That's another aspect of this that is kind of worth considering, as of course you now kind of think about it. And it's like, okay, the AI needs energy. Did they develop these 200-mile-an-hour football field type of battery systems that's going and tapping into the thermal energy of the earth in order to get energy to finance its AI hive mind? That, of course, is a theory. A theory that, of course, we're discussing right now, that, of course, is all theoretical, all hypothetical. Now, the discussion, fascinating. I think we need to have these discussions more than ever, as at the same time that all of this is happening, we literally have Joe Rogan talking about Comet 31 Atlas. Now, this is big. This is very big and very important here, because all of these drones are happening at the same time that this mystery comet is also coming our way.
Dude, this is real. I am not comfortable with this Comet Atlas.
I know.
And I like, you know,
we've got Avi Loeb coming on to talk about it.
Avi Loeb is the Harvard professor that came out and said, hey, there's a big chance, there's a probability that this isn't a comet. Most scientists say it's a comet, but this is some kind of space aircraft. What exactly is it? I don't know.
He's amazing. I had him on my podcast a long time ago. He put up with my ass.
A lot of people in the beginning were saying that it's bullshit. It's a comet. Why is he saying this? He's risking his reputation. But then as time's going on, they're going, well, this is weird. This thing's really weird.
Well, it's okay. First of all, it's important to note that one thing that titillates my dumbass is it just so happens the government shutdown coincides with when we could use the satellites on Mars to get pictures of that fucking thing. So we're not getting pictures. They did release a picture of it yesterday.
Wait a minute. The government shutdown is stopping us from getting pictures of this thing?
Yes.
That's insane.
That's insane. Now
that's so insane. They should open that up.
I mean, it seems like that's really weird. Did you see the images that just came in, though? The Europeans got an image of it. And
it's weird looking.
It's weird looking, but I don't know what a comet looks like. So
I don't know what a comet looks like, and I don't know why it's weirder than other comets.
But it does seem like it's going, it's like rolling in a weird way, but it's the gas, right? It's like what it's releasing is the weird part.
Well, the weird part is coming from the same part of the universe where the wow signal came from.
Yeah. That's weird.
That's weird.
That's fucking weird.
That's
dude.
weird.
This, as of course, that same thing, that same, whatever it is going to be making our way almost at the 1-year anniversary of the New Jersey drone incursions that happened. Are those items interconnected? I don't know. But it sure is suspicious. And listen, I think suspicion is your best friend here. We even made T-shirts about this, saying I used to believe in aliens before the government tried to make me believe in aliens. It was said in a more nicer way. I forgot exactly what was said. But even Joe Rogan was talking about how this is kind of a slow recognition that we're not alone. And if we're not alone, what are we? As I think the question needs to be asked more than ever, especially when it comes to the classification of a lot of these documents that I believe should not be classified. And listen, I want to know. So is this AI? Is this advanced tech? Now, this is the specific aspect that I think is worth talking about. These 200-mile-an-hour football fields that are defying the laws of physics that, by the way, have been around for many decades now. All right, ever since the early 1990s, there were these descriptions, and I remember reading about them in Behold the Pale Horse by William Cooper, who was a part of U.S. Naval Intelligence. Some people say U.S. Naval Intelligence, the highest naval intelligence, that there actually exists. That's the kind of understanding that a lot of people have of it. And then he met his demise right after he predicted 9/11. And the cops just came in and they took his life. He described the same thing Tim Burchett's describing.
Believe it. You don't think this is our technology?
No, I do not. There's no way. It is no way it's our technology. There's, I've talked to too many pilots. Why would we risk our best? I mean, I've talked to the best pilots in the world that are ours. Some of them, not all of them, and that have told me. I mean, one guy, I remember I was at the Capitol Hill Club. It was just an unusual encounter. A guy spoke to a group and he followed me out and said, Tim, or congressman or whatever, he said that thing was 14 feet. He went like this from my canopy. And I thought to myself, why didn't he say 15? Why didn't he say 20? But he said 14. And then he said this thing, it wasn't ours. He said, I don't know what it was, but it wasn't ours.
Now, interdimensional beings, creatures that live maybe underneath the oceans, we haven't even discovered the oceans. We haven't even discovered what's underneath our own Earth, right? Our own oceans, which leaves us to kind of wonder. There's weird creatures there that we haven't even fully type of quantified or really still comprehend that could act without thermal energy, right? So that's another aspect of this. As now, listen, if they have more advanced tech that defies our scientific understanding, that means that they are of higher intelligence. Now, again, this could be rogue AI. This could be interdimensional beings. This could be advanced U.S. tech and runaway type of civilizations and societies that exist in different kind of energetic planes in the world with all of us. Which one is it? I have no. Which one do you think it is? I want to have you guys kind of sound off down in the comment section down below, because I find this conversation intriguing. Or is this all just a government PSYOP? Now, Burchett doesn't believe it's a PSYOP. I don't believe it's a PSYOP too. The more I look into this, I'll be honest, where I kind of lean in here, and a lot of people are usually, they want to keep the mystery. I'm leaning towards interdimensional creatures, interdimensional beings that have existed and live in planes of reality that we still do not comprehend and understand and have not yet scientifically broke down. That's my 2 cents on this matter. Am I right? Am I wrong? I don't know. I can't say that definitively, but that's what I feel is happening.
And that's all I said. And I had a very high-ranking member of the Navy describe some underwater experiences they'd had with something that was doing 200 miles. And the best thing we got is probably 40.
Multiple reports, not just one crazy person. So I know this is not a PSYOP. This is not a ruse. This has been going on for a while.
Doing 200 miles an hour underwater.
Underwater, big as a football field. And that's no fish.
So is it possible, given our current understanding of physics, for any man-made machine to go anywhere near 200 miles an hour underwater?
Not with our technology, no. The best we have is probably in the high 30s. And he was converting it. Of course, knots is what the Navy guys would do, but there's nothing.
If I fire a 30-06 or any high-caliber rifle underwater, it doesn't go 200 miles an hour. I can probably catch it in the length of a swimming pool or so.
Yeah, or it just falls down.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean, it's like,
so we've got, and this was described to me in areas, and I was quoted on sound. I was just all I do is quote people that have knowledge. But this was one that was he was talking about. There are 5 or 6, I think, deep water areas of the ocean. You've traveled a lot. I have not. There's not a lot of deep water areas around East Tennessee at Fort Loudon Lake or anything, but they're talking miles deep.
Yeah. Now, the ocean is pretty gosh darn deep. A lot of people are saying these are creatures, these are entities that could be in our religious books that explain some of the kind of weird phenomenons that have happened here. They could be from places like Planet X. They could be from comets and spaceships that make their way around places like Mars. Now, 31 Atlas, a lot of people project that it's going to be a lot closer to Earth. It's not going to be as close. It's going to be very close to Mars. And some people are saying, no, they're going to seed Mars. I don't know. Now, listen, when it comes to this government kind of like, is this really government? Listen, individuals like Jeffrey Epstein were working on anti-gravity research. Are they the ones that propelled anti-gravity research to the point where they have a lot of these crafts? They have a lot of these kind of devices? They have a lot of these drones? They have a lot of these advanced tech? Who the hell knows? Anyway, I appreciate your support. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for it. I think we're living in an ever so type of revealing moment for humanity. And I think we need the pure push for declassification more than ever, as Donald Trump's the only person that could declassify a lot of this stuff and not go to jail. He could do the most epic thing ever. And I think he should. If you agree, share this video. Get the message out there. Trump, release it. Release it all. If there ever was a time, now is it. I love you guys. Stay tuned for more. All here exclusively on youtube.com/wearechange.